how do you respond to people who are saying that this is not how an average American would be treating? This is only how Hillary Clinton would be treated.
Yeah, look, I've heard that a lot, and my response is demand, when people tell you that others have been treated differently, demand from a trustworthy source the details of those cases. Because I'm a very aggressive investigator. I was a very aggressive prosecutor. I have gone back through 40 years of cases, and I'm telling you, under oath, that to prosecute on these facts would be a double standard.
Joining us now, the man who asked that question of Director Comey, Republican congressman from the great state of Texas, Blake Farenthold. He's a member of the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform and vice chair for the Subcommittee on Information Technology. Hello, Congressman.
Hey, great to be with y'all.
Yes, it's been a while. Welcome back. I appreciate it. So, that was Comey then. He said to you guys that if anything new came about in the investigation, he swore under oath that he would notify you people in Congress. He did that, and yet he's catching some heat from people like Harry Reid and others who say that he shouldn't have done what he did on Friday.
Well, I think he did the right thing. He said he was going to do it. And you need to take a look at what happened to IRS Commissioner Koskinen when he failed to keep Congress informed. He's in a heap of hot water right now. So I think the FBI Director, Mr. Comey, made the right call by notifying Congress.
All right. I want you to hear something that Josh Earnest said today, and then I'll ask you to react. Here we go.
Over the nearly 2 years now that I've been answering questions about Secretary Clinton's email system, that I've made clear that the White House is going to be scrupulous about avoiding even the appearance of political interference in prosecutorial or investigative decisions. And that is a posture that I won't change, and is a posture that speaks to the kind of institutional responsibilities that are vested here in the White House. Which is preserving the independence and integrity of independent investigations conducted by the Department of Justice.
All right. So he said Obama will not defend nor criticize Comey, and he said Obama does not believe that Comey is looking to affect the outcome of the elections. I would assume that you would agree with the latter and are probably pleased with the former?
Yes, I'm pleased that the president is going to let this play out. I think it's the right thing to do. And again, I've seen it, and I agree with it. It's happening all over the internet and all over the news. That there's a gun here, or Comey wouldn't have done this close to the election.
So let me ask you, Congressman. I know it's all speculation, but the Wall Street Journal reports we're talking about 650,000 emails. Based on what you said, that there must be, there must have been something there, some kind of red flag, or Comey probably wouldn't have done this before this close to the election. There's been speculation that this could involve something to do with the Clinton Foundation. Because, Congressman, correct me if I'm wrong, if it's just more classified or even the same or different classified emails that wound up on Uma's computer or even Anthony Weiner's computer, we've been there and done that with Hillary's emails being all over the place, even some that were classified. So do you agree that this would have to be above and beyond that for them to have an interest in it?
Emails there that were on the Clinton server that are relevant, that weren't turned over, that makes liars out of a lot of people. I'm an old computer consultant, and I used to talk to lawyers about email back in the 90s, and the thing I said is email never goes away. You never know how many computers it's going to end up on, the senders, the ISPs, somewhere in the cloud, the recipients, everybody's backup tape, whoever somebody forwarded it to. It's next to impossible to get rid of an email once you hit the send button. And I think this may be some of the emails that were deleted and are missing, and if there's relevant material in there, that's going to be. And if there's something classified on it, and it ends up on Anthony Weiner's computer, you talk about somebody who's shown he's vulnerable to outside influences. That's beyond gross negligence in handling classified material, putting it on somebody like Anthony Weiner's computer.
Let me ask you this. If Hillary Clinton wins the election, I thought that maybe Barack Obama would pardon her and everybody else. But I had Andy McCarthy, the great former federal prosecutor, on my noon show, America Talks Live, and he said, why would he have to pardon her? She'll be running the Justice Department. There'll just be no prosecution, ever. So which do you think is, if she wins, do you think there's a presidential pardon in her future before she takes office?
I think win or lose, there's a presidential pardon in her future. The historical precedent is set when Ford retroactively pardoned Nixon. I don't think that's good for our country, but I'm afraid it's what's going to happen.
Can you imagine what it would be like as someone in your position? I mean, forget the public at large, but dealing with a sitting president who, before he or she were inaugurated, had to get a pardon from the outgoing president? What will that be like?
Well, it certainly would take some stuff off the table, but from Hillary Clinton, I don't think she's going to be able to keep her hand out of the cookie jar even after a pardon. You can only pardon for things that have been done. You can't pardon for future crimes. And, you know, there'll be a lot of opportunities for her, win or lose, she's been engaged in, which, in my opinion, are pretty shady, or, to quote Donald Trump, crooked.
All right, let me ask you this. As far as, you know, there are some who say that Hillary should have been impeached already as Secretary of State, even though she's no longer Secretary of State. The Congress certainly could have done that. Again, I hate working under the premise that Hillary will win, because I certainly hope Hillary loses, and I think the polls are coalescing around Donald Trump, and I think he has a pretty good shot at this point. However, playing devil's advocate, if you will, if she is pardoned and she becomes president, I'm sure, let me ask you, would the Congress, would you like to see the Congress continue the investigations? And I know legally, just because she would be pardoned, it doesn't take impeachment off the table. Am I correct?
That's correct, I believe. I've not done the research on that, and I think it would be relatively unprecedented. But win or lose, the scrutiny of Congress and the American people are going to continue to be on her. There are multiple investigations that are going on from a variety of sources, including the FBI. And, you know, with a pardon, that gets to be problematic. Without a pardon, they're going to go on whether she wins or loses. And the problem with impeachment is it's political, and it's going to take two-thirds of the vote, two-thirds vote in the Senate to remove her from office. And I don't see how you get those numbers absent compelling evidence that the American people, Democrats included, are shouting, lock her up.
Let me ask you just a couple of more questions. The backlash against Director Comey for doing what he did, what do you think of Harry Reid's assertion that Comey is in violation of the Hatch Act?
I don't think that's applicable in this case. He's doing his job as the FBI investigator. I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that it's not politically motivated. The Democrats gave him the benefit of the doubt that his initial announcement and recommendation not to prosecute was his legitimate judgment and not politically motivated. I had a little problem with that, but if we gave him the benefit of the doubt then, I think we need to give him the benefit of the doubt now. And I tell you, Trey Gowdy, I think really kind of summed it up when he said, you know, is this guy doing drugs or what?
Yeah, well, yeah, that was quite a line. I saw that live as he was getting ready to go watch the Dallas Cowboys play the Philadelphia Eagles. One more question. Hillary says she wants all the emails released. You know, come on, show us what's out there. Show us what's out there. What do you think it says, and this is speculation, that Uma Abedin, who is her right-hand person, or you know, whatever they call that, a body blanket or something, or whatever, I don't know what expression they use, but she hasn't been with her, she's not with her again today since this all happened. Do you see any significance in that?
Well, I'm afraid, as with anybody who becomes a problem to the Clintons, they end up or figuratively under the bus. So if I were Uma Abedin, I'd be polishing my resume right now.
All right. Congressman, thank you for spending so much time with us, sir. Really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. Happy to Skype with you all anytime.
Okay, we'll have you back. That's great to hear. Thank you so much. It's been too long. All right, ladies and gentlemen, very, very interesting, and great to get the perspective of the congressman who had the opportunity certainly to question Director Comey, and it's going to get very, very interesting. Now, you heard me refer several times to the interview I did this afternoon at noon Eastern Time on America Talks Live with Andy McCarthy, the great former federal prosecutor and National Review columnist and official. He will be here. We'll replay that next. Don't go anywhere.